swinging. Derek Holland. Swinging. Derek Holland. Swinging. Derek Holland. swinging. Derek Collins.
Boom. 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 I'm not ready. I am ready, but I'm not ready.
And boom goes the dynamite.
And boom goes the dynamite.
That was a delicious Frosty.
Anything besides a Frosty?
No. That's just it. I don't think anybody got anything. I think she just stopped for ice cream.
There's nothing wrong with you know. Well, okay. You know what? We'll start the pod. Why? I'm just gonna restart. I'm gonna restart. Welcome to Off the Fair Pull episode 33, 34. Off the Fair Pull. Got myself, Mr. Derek Holland, and Mr. Van Dyermaker with us on this lovely evening. Recording a little bit later in the week than we want to do. Just some things came up and things happened, and that's the beauty of not having a schedule. Lack of a beauty, however you want to look at it. But I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. Dyer is tucking into a nice chocolate Frosty, but Dyer, where are your French fries to dip into your Frosty?
Oh, I am not a subscriber to the French fry dipping Frosty routine. That's not that's not my jam.
Are you okay?
You know, I don't like the sweet and salty.
So let me get this straight. You are an Almond Joy fan.
Yes.
Which is sweet and salty. But you don't
It's
like
an unsalted almond.
But you don't like French fries in a Frosty.
No. I don't like chocolate covered pretzels either.
Here's a question for you though. Have you tried it with the vanilla Frosty?
I have.
Okay.
And that's better than the chocolate, but still not my jam. I don't hate it, but I don't do it.
Here's another question. Have you ever dipped a chicken nugget?
I haven't. That doesn't sound very palatable either. Is that a secret?
I would give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Okay.
Give it a shot. You try everything once, right?
I might just get a Frosty and dunk my junior bacon cheeseburger in it or something.
Oh, that's going too far there.
Well, how about I take the bacon off and just dunk that in there?
I would just dunk the bacon, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever had chocolate covered bacon?
I haven't. I've seen that. I know that's a thing, but I don't know. Again, sweet and salty is not my thing. I know it's a classic combination, but for me, not my favorite.
You know, I enjoy it. I think it's good. I've also had beer, bacon flavored beer. Not my favorite.
That's horrible. I've had that too.
Yeah, I've had that. Chocolate beer, also not a fan of. It's just not really into that kind of stuff. I've had some weird beers. I've drank some weird shit.
I do like a good chocolate stout, or like that vanilla porter. Breckenridge has a really good one.
Yeah, but the difference is chocolate stout is different from like those fake chocolate beers. Like I'm talking like chocolate beer in the way that like bacon beer is.
Gotcha.
Where it's like clearly this chemical fake flavor and not like they didn't infuse anything. It's just like it tastes like bacon and we're gonna put like 17 drops of it. And
yeah,
like that I'm not a fan of.
No, I agree with you there.
Like that for me is
not good.
No, I just want no. Ugh. But other than that, I mean, I've had some weird beers. Spicy beer is interesting. Chili beer is interesting. That jalapeno beer, that one was fun because it's like spicy but not spicy. Like good with wings. I did have it with wings. I tried it with wings and it worked. It did work.
How do you feel about a michelada? Is that how you say it?
50-50 on that.
I've never had one that's not like the pre-mixed kind that you just buy off the shelf. So I want to actually make it myself sometime
Here's the thing:
and see if I like it.
I'm not a huge fan of tomato-based drinks in
Mm.
general,
Yeah.
but I have had one before, and it was pretty good.
Maybe it's one of those things you have like one of them, and that's that's plenty. Like a Bloody Mary for me. I like one Bloody Mary, but I can't just sit
do
around
Bloody
and do like a
Marys.
Bloody Mary bar. Yeah.
I can't do Bloody Marys. Although there is a non-tomato based version of it.
Really?
Yes, where you substitute the tomato juice for just straight beer, but you keep the lime, the spices, the pepper, everything else.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds pretty good.
I just don't like. I'm not a huge fan of tomato juice in general. My dad loves tomato juice to the point where, like, when we were going on vacation, he would order a can of tomato juice on the airplanes. That's the only time he could actually get one, because he would never buy like a whole bottle of tomato juice.
Yeah.
He's the only one who would drink it, and he would never get like a 12-pack of tomato juice in cans. But when he could, back in the days of Continental Airlines, when they had tomato juice, he could get one, and he would. So he would get a Sprite and a tomato juice and drink them separately, or a ginger ale and tomato juice and drink them separately. It was like he looked for. I swear that's the only reason he enjoyed flying, was just to get his tomato juice.
Get that tomato juice fix.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Like, and we would fly maybe once, maybe twice a year. And each time, let me get tomato juice and a ginger ale, please.
Hey, tomato juice is like the perfect drink, because you can start sipping on it while it's cool, and then about halfway through the can, when you get sick of it, you can pour it into a bowl and microwave it, and now you've got tomato soup.
Oh
Get
god.
yourself a grilled cheese sandwich, dip it in there.
Start dunking.
Hey. Yeah.
Start dunking a little bit.
Now that's my jam right there. You dunk the grilled cheese in the tomato soup. That's the shit. I didn't discover that until later in life. I don't know how I
Really?
didn't know about that
Really?
until not like it wasn't like yesterday, but like 10 years ago. I was just like, oh shit, people do this?
Yeah.
Fucking perfect.
That's an interesting one right there.
We didn't do that growing up. We ate them separately. In the same meal, but nobody dunked.
Yeah. I've done see, tomato soup again for me is like, one, I can tell the difference between canned tomato soup and homemade tomato soup very easily.
Yeah.
And I like the canned better. It's in the same way with, like, it's weird. Like, I like the canned jellied cranberry sauce over homemade cranberry sauce.
Okay.
And so it's just one of those things where it's like the can tastes better even though I know it's worse.
Right.
Like, homemade tomato soup should be really good and creamy. I like the Campbell's. Give me the Campbell's. Pour it out.
Tried so many times to make scratch tomato soup. It's so hard to do, and I can never make it smooth. It's always, there's little chunks in it. And you're right, it just doesn't taste the same. It doesn't. I think a lot of that's probably nostalgia. You grew up eating the canned stuff. I bet, I would suspect that if it was different, if one grew up and somebody in their family made a really good tomato soup from scratch, then maybe it would be different. But yeah, the taste is totally different. Are you a milk or water mix kind of guy with the tomato soup in the can?
Milk.
Yeah, you got to
I
go
like
with
the cream. I like the
Yep.
cream.
I agree.
I think the problem with the canned soups in general is they're usually a little too watery. So, like, I don't like adding more water to them, but, like, hear me out here. Half and half.
Okay.
Not heavy cream, half and half. Because it adds a little bit of body to it as well.
Yeah, I dig. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. I'm going to give that a shot.
But yeah, half and half, and then get some oyster crackers, put those on top there.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want, but you can put a little bit of sharp cheddar. Has to be sharp cheddar though, because like the mozzarella doesn't work, Parmesan doesn't really work, doesn't have a great flavor mix. But like a little bit of sharp cheddar.
Just add
so
some
good.
depth of flavor there. Okay.
Maybe a little sour cream if you're feeling saucy. Maybe a
I
little.
dig.
But you could do sour cream instead of heavy cream and just mix it in. But I like doing heavy cream and sour. But that's just,
Giving me a lot to think about.
Listen, tomato soup, first of all, we've established that, one, there was a chance this was almost gonna be a derps show, a derps cast tonight, and I feel like we could do a whole derps cast just on food.
We could do a whole podcast just on food, like a whole series.
Like just a whole, yeah, just 45 minutes of just talking about one food item the entire time. On today's episode, steak. That's a 3-hour special right there. Like, good lord. But yeah, I mean, tomato soup. Oh, I'm not my favorite, but I am about it. But yeah, other than that, anything other weird soups out there that how about broccoli wedding soup?
Broccoli wedding soup. What is this? I don't think I've ever heard of this. Unless it's just a different name. It's something I've had.
It's also what other names are there for it? I don't know what else. I only know it as wedding soup. Sometimes it's called Italian wedding soup.
Okay, yeah, I've had that before.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a fan of that. But there's ones with meatballs and there's a vegetarian version. I prefer the meatball version.
Yeah, I agree. Gotta go. I'd never known it to not have meatballs in it. I thought that was kind of
No, there's a vegetarian
requirement.
version. Split pea.
If it's well done, I like it.
Okay.
Split pea is one of those soups that can be really bad or it
Yes.
can be really tasty.
Lentil.
I like a good lentil soup on a cold day. It's comfort food right there.
Here's the thing with a good lentil soup, right? Lentil soup, you need to have a good, hearty, thick slice of bread with it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be scoopable bread. Like, you can't go get yourself a little piece of flimsy white bread. It's got to be like a good slice of like farmer's bread.
Yeah.
And if you want to feel real saucy, you take some bacon, put some bacon in that lentil soup. Oh,
Hell yeah.
oh yeah.
I can get after that.
Right? Right? This is a soup cast. I don't know, Derek, are you a soup fan?
I am actually. I make some chili once it starts
Okay.
getting cold.
Okay.
So it's been pretty good. I want to learn. Now this is like a recipe though from like my grandma. It was actually my grandpa, my dad's dad, but he passed away like a long time ago when I was younger, and he would always make this vegetable soup, and it was unbelievable. Like, bro, to me, I could have ate it. It doesn't matter if it's a cold day, a hot day, whatever. I was going to eat it. Like, that shit was so good. So I want to learn how to do it the way that he did it. Like, I get it. It's so easy. Like, it's vegetables. Throw it in there and put broth. You're good. No, there's more to it than just that.
You
So
gotta have a good mirepoix. You got a nice little browning on there. You gotta watch your simmer. You gotta skim. You always gotta skim your soup.
Sure, but yeah, that's the one thing I just want to get that. But I mean, I've been trying to do a bunch of different things, learning more on the cooking side. But yeah, soup wise, I like soup. There's no such thing as I can't say there's no such thing as a bad soup, but
Manhattan clam chowder can kick rocks.
yeah, see, there's gonna be something that we won't agree on. Like, I've never really had that, so I'm gonna agree with you.
New England clam chowder, amazing. Manhattan clam chowder, get the fuck out.
Okay,
I've never had that before. New
Manhattan
England clam cheddar, I love it. Yeah.
It's tomato based.
and it's clam chowder, not
Yeah, it's chowder.
chowder. Don't forget
Chowder.
to get it the right way.
So basically, we're talking about tomato soup with clams in it.
Essentially, yeah, yeah. Which is why I can fuck off. But like New England clam chowder or like a lobster bisque, oh, lobster bisque, so good. But yeah, no, like soups. I've never really been good at making soups. But when you make a good broth, there's always like fuzz that comes to the top. You got to skim that off, or else it looks really disgusting. Anyway, and then actually, have you ever had clear soup?
I don't even know what the hell
Clear
that
soup?
is.
Clear
Like
soup,
miso soup?
kind of. So it's like miso, except when done properly, it is like looking through literal just water. Like, it is clear. It's it's super flavorful, but when you look at it, you literally think it's just water.
Interesting. Never heard of this.
It's really good. It's really good. But yeah, I think other than soup, you know why I think we're talking about soup? It's starting to get cold out.
See, it's not that well. Okay, maybe up there.
Listen, Mr. Texan. But it's starting to get cold out. Our editor Gnome is already expecting snow in the next month, or the next few weeks. Getting chilly over here. Dyer, have you got any snow yet?
No, we haven't got any snow, not at least in central Ohio here, but Cleveland has already experienced their first snow of the year, and it was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, too early.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it's coming, though.
But with cold brings the World Series. So let's talk about the World Series. The World Series is ongoing at the time of recording of this podcast. By the time some of you listen to it, though, the World Series may already be over by then. The game is currently in Philadelphia. We are going to actually the game is starting here shortly in about 40 minutes or so as we record. It's been an interesting series. It's been, like I said, a lot of home runs in Bank Park the last 2 days. One by each team, but on separate days.
Yeah.
But the big story, the big overall story is what happened in the game yesterday, November 2nd. For those of you listening future in time, with actually not yesterday, sorry, 2 days ago. What am I saying? Yesterday was yesterday. There was a no-hitter yesterday.
I was going to say,
what am I talking about?
that's what I was thinking you were going with it, but
yeah.
then again, the way you were saying stuff, I wasn't sure.
Listen, Philly has experience with no-hitters in the postseason, except they're normally the one throwing it.
Yeah, that's true. Roy Holiday.
Now, Derek,
R.I.P.
you've never thrown a no-hitter.
I have
in professional,
correct
in the professional realm.
Correct. Yeah. I've come very close. The farthest I've taken a no-hitter was the 7th inning against the Seattle Mariners.
But you have played in a World Series.
2 of them.
How difficult is it to throw a no-hitter in the World Series? It's difficult enough as it is.
Well,
throw
I mean,
a no-hitter.
I got 2 hits only given up on me. And if you take it all together, I only gave up 3 hits, I think, in my entire performance of the World Series. It's very hard. Nothing changes. It's just what people got to understand is, like, one, you're already playing against the best of the best in baseball. You know, these are the best in the MLB of all the world. And then on top of that, you get to the World Series. Now you're playing the hottest team in baseball, which has everybody. Sorry, I had to burp. Everybody is hot. Everybody's swinging well. So your chances are very hard to do this. The only thing I'm pissed about with this whole situation is I don't know what his pitch count was. I didn't really get to watch the game because
it was high.
I was celebrating with a buddy. It's his birthday. I don't care how high your pitch count was. This is the World Series. There is no baseball after this. It's the World Series, and you have a no-hitter. Not many people can actually say, hey, I threw a no-hitter in the World Series. Ride with me. Let's go. And if I'm pitching, I don't care. Give me another fucking energy drink. Whatever it is that I'm taking to get myself going, I'm going to go until I give up that first hit. And when I give up the first hit, fine, by all means, take me out. But right now, we're shooting for a fucking no-hitter in the World Series. That's why if it's me, and it did, I know, and that's great. I love that. But a combined no-hitter, it's still a no-hitter. Don't get me wrong. It's cool, but how much cooler would it be if it was just your no-hitter? You know what I mean? And for me, if I'm the pitching coach, one, I'm going to do everything in my power to motivate you. If you tell me you feel a little bit tired, you're running out of gas, you better believe I'm going to fucking do everything to get you back to where you feel great about it and get your ass out there and mow those fucking guys down. That's how I want to be. I would love that opportunity. When I played against the Cardinals and I gave up 2 hits, you better believe I didn't want to come out of that game when Wash came out. I tried, but no, unfortunately I didn't. And that's fine because I don't know how you want to put it, but I wasn't throwing a no-hitter. I was throwing a shutout. Cool. That would have been great for me to be able to say, hey, this is another shutout to add to your resume for this year since I'd already thrown 4. Wow, you got 5 and your 5th one was in the fucking World Series. Oh my God. Give me the ball. I want to go out there and pitch. I would hope to God if it was you guys that were on that mound, and I can speak more on Dyer because I know him a lot better from the baseball side of it. I guarantee you he would not want me to take that ball away from him. And I guarantee Terps, playing video games with you and being around you, You would not want me to take that ball either.
Nope.
You have a competitive edge. Everybody has that. So for me, why didn't you try to stay out there? Did the team throw a no-hitter? Yes, that is awesome. I love it. I want people to understand. I'm not sitting here bashing anybody. I want that to be clear. I just know from a pitcher's side of it, you ask any of these veteran guys that were out there, fuck, Tim Lincecum threw 150 pitches against the San Diego Padres and threw a no-hitter in a regular season game. Come on.
He was at 97 pitches in the 6th when they took him out.
Whoop they fucking do. Keep going.
Yeah.
Guys were throwing 200 pitches back in the day. Like we freak out because we get to 112. Whoop they do.
This is where the analytic nerds say, but Derek, the
I don't-
third time to the order,
You know
Harper's
I'm going to
send it to the
smack
moon.
the shit out of one of those nerds for saying that. I don't care. All you have to do is go into it's a typical strategy. You see it with all pitching coaches all the time. Hey, if somebody gets on, let's get the bullpen going. Let's get it up.
Or have a bullpen, in this case, going, or just ready and waiting.
Have those guys
And
ready.
and the minute someone gets on base, you yank them.
Boom. There we go.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine with that. I'm okay with doing that.
Or if he gives up, or if he gets to a point where he starts hitting people or issuing multiple walks in a row
Yeah.
in a
Well,
World Series, then it's
but that's okay. That goes back to what you said, though. If somebody gets on base, all right.
yeah,
A hit or a
Out.
walk is the same thing.
Yeah.
And what was the score? 5-0, right?
yeah. It was
You've
all in one
got,
inning,
you've
too.
got. I get it. It's a World Series and a team can come back, but by God, throw the fucking no hitter. Go get the distance.
They had no answer for him. The Phillies bats just weren't there. It's honestly, and apart from one inning, the Astros bats weren't there. They put up 5 runs in 1 inning, which was all they needed to do.
Pitcher's
to
duel
seal
that lasted
game.
how long? How long was that game?
9 innings.
I know that time wise.
Got him.
Let's see how long that game was.
This pause was
That
brought to you
game-
by Dude Wipes. Whenever you have a messy butt, wipe your butt with a Dude Wipe. It'll clean it up.
Let's see if I can find it.
I can't find how long it was.
They like to hide that shit now.
Because this is why. That game was no longer than 2.5 hours.
See, I can find it. I can't find it at all.
And that it was 2 hours and 22
Right.
minutes.
Time of game 3 hours 25 minutes.
World Series commercials are longer, actually, too. I
Yeah.
will say that. But still, 3 hours. That game was fast. Pitcher's duel.
Wait.
World Series has more televised time. I get it. So yeah,
It's really just 5 runs scored in the 5th. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Thank
Everything
God,
else
thank
was-
God for a fucking pitch clock.
We also have to consider too the Padres, Jesus. The Astros
They're not
used-
playing, Dyer. I want to throw that out there.
The Padres were watching this game while the Astros used 4 different pitchers and the Phillies used 6. So
Yeah.
that adds time as well.
But the more interesting game, the game that everyone was talking about, was the first game in Philadelphia.
hmm
A few interesting decisions by the Houston Astros in that game. One of which was using a closer that they just honestly should not have used that game, in my opinion, at all. But also, 2, some very obvious pitching mechanic issues that straight up caused back-to-back home runs. And Mr. Bohm got some quick tips from Mr. Bryce Harper, and next thing you know, the next ball is over the fence. Derek, obviously you talked about this on the radio already today. It's been all over Twitter. You guys can see the images. It's very obvious.
Well, we talked about it. It was me and Mike Bassick. It was on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. I'll actually be on again tomorrow from 10 to 2 Eastern or Central Time. You can check it out on the Odyssey app. I'm just filling in for the time being. But we talked about this with Lance McCullers, who is one of my friends. We talk here and there. This was just one of those situations. This happens all the time, though. In baseball, in general, it's tipping the pitches. It can range from a simple gesture, and it sucks because I had my glove here. I should have gotten it, but with my hand, I would have my hand outside the glove. On the Discord thing, you can't see my finger very well because of that background, but on Twitch you can see it. But my finger would be straight.
Looks like you're flipping us off on Discord, actually.
It does actually. On my finger would be straight. My finger was straight. That was a fastball. If I bent it, that was an off-speed pitch. That was one of the things that got picked up. Another thing that got picked up was how I was breathing. If I would take a deep breath, I was throwing an off-speed pitch. If I didn't breathe, that means I was coming with a heater. So little things like that happen. Now with McCullers, it was more of, he had more of a tuck, and he was throwing, and I might say this backwards now, but because it's different, but I think the tuck, he was throwing the curveball, and the more straight up, he was throwing his changeup. The other thing
It's leg kick too.
There's so much that was going on with it. And on top of that too, here's the other thing that people don't understand, that this changes everything to help out with not only the tipping of the pitches, but if you're doing this, you become predictable. Lance McCullers has a really good fastball. It's an elite fastball. Is it 100? No, but it's still elite, and he has movement. He got away from using his fastball in key situations that would make his off-speed pitch that much better. And what people don't understand is when you throw a fastball, it puts the separation between your curveball and your changeup. When you're going changeup the whole time and you're not using your fastball, your changeup now becomes your fastball. Now, not only that, if you're going changeup and curveball combo, you're going from slow to slower, which makes it that much easier to time and hit. So you're being too predictable. And when you're facing, as for instance, we're going to use Bryce Harper, a lefty, and all you're doing is throwing changeups away with curveballs away, it's easy that's all he has to worry about is staying away. You haven't thrown anything inside to get him uncomfortable. Now, granted, the pitch selection it could be considered fine, but the location was what hurt him too. Especially on the Bryce Harper one, that was a hanging curveball. You hang it, we bang it. That's how it works. Everybody knows that. But now when you're facing righties and you're not really throwing that many changeups and you're throwing more curveballs, because he does, granted, everybody knows this, he throws a majority of curveballs in his pitch repertoire. If you're doing that, the elimination of pitches can be taken right there. You're not throwing too many pitches. We've talked about this before. If you don't throw pitches for a strike, it's easy to eliminate pitches as a hitter. With that being said, though, he was throwing these for strikes, but he wasn't using his fastball again. So, like I said, not using fastball, he eliminates that one pitch as a hitter, and now we can sit on this. And what happens? He did. And he tattooed, which happened to be a changeup. So, easy to see and watch. That's the thing is, when you're pitching, and this is probably what made the guy that pitched last night so good and so unhittable, changed eye levels, moved in and out, up and down, changed speeds, made his stuff that much better. Your fastball, no matter how hard you throw, will make your shit look that much better because it's harder to begin with, faster, however you want to put it, and it has the separation of what's with your other pitches, your curveball, slider, changeup, whatever.
Yeah, but his mistakes are picked up quite quickly by the Phillies.
Well, that's the thing too, is of course they're picked up because there's a guy for every single team that is watching video to see what you're doing so that he can relay it to the hitters. Now, when I say that, it's not cheating because it's doing this beforehand.
It's film study.
It's film study. We all have access to it, just like the Astros and everybody and the Phillies. They have access to all their
fans
pitchers.
do too.
Everybody
you can
does.
go on MLB.com and you can watch every single game back if you want.
Yes, and that's what they do. And on top of that, that's why the whole cheating thing, the only way that it was so bad is because how the Astros did it with the trash can in the hallway. If you get a runner at second and you're stealing my signs, that's on me. That's not cheating by any means. That's just relaying signs because you're making it a fucking telegram or however you want. You're holding it up with a sign that I'm throwing a fucking fastball. Here you go. That I'm okay with. Now, that's why I said they studied up on it. They have a guy that does that. I've had teammates that do it, teammates that can actually watch the game happen and they can pick it up too. That's the thing. That's why Harper and those guys, they said something, because what happens is you get this and it says, it'll be in your scouting report. Hey, he does this. This is how he tips pitches. Be on the lookout for it. That's true. That's not cheating. There's no cheating to that. And then what happens is the hitters get up to the plate and now they want to make sure this is truly it, because the last thing you want to do is you want to go up there and you think you've got it, and then all of a sudden it wasn't even close to that or whatever, and then you look
he
fool.
made an adjustment or whatever.
Yeah. So granted, I guarantee we might see a big adjustment from him on his next start. He will start again.
Yeah, he should.
He's got too good of shit.
The more confusing part for me in this game, I mean, tipping pitches is part of the game, and obviously McCullers is going to make adjustments. The Astros will make adjustments once it was figured out. Because you don't want to give Derek, you know this. Harper can hit a ball off the plate out of the park.
He's a
Anything
great
over the
hitter.
plate, gone. And that's a lineup full of hitters. That lineup can hit.
He hits bad pitches,
Yeah,
and he hits good pitches too. Yeah.
He hits balls for a living.
That's what I was going to
Hard.
say. He gets paid to do this kind of stuff, just like I got paid to go out there and try to get him out.
But what confused me a little bit, and a bunch of other people I've spoken to about this game already, is, and Derek, maybe you might have an idea here, but why was Ryan Stanek brought into this game down 7-0? He's arguably the best closer in the AL. You brought him in for 2/3 of an inning. 2/3 of an inning of work, down 7. What's your purpose there, besides maybe giving him a little bit of work?
I don't know. I mean, he had pitched in Houston,
Yeah,
so I don't.
1.69 ERA.
Yeah, I don't understand the move. That's not.
1.15 ERA actually. Sorry.
Maybe he was the only guy that was truly available, and they're trying to save the other guys for the next day. I mean, that would be the only thing I could think of, but still, it's only 2/3 of an inning, so I don't know. It's a interesting move.
He's their best closer.
Yeah, no, I know, I get that.
And to me, it just seemed weird. You're up 7. This game it's not over. This game's not over, rather, but you're down 7, not up 7. Sorry, you're down 7. So, what damage are you limiting at this point?
I mean, are you?
Yeah, the world's already on fire.
No, I know. I'm just.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So bringing in your best closer seems a little. Why?
It's. I mean, I honestly, I don't get the move. Why? And I still don't know what the reasoning behind that was. Like, why would you do that?
Harry, you have any thoughts on that?
I have nothing. It's dumb.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you guys. Just kind of baffled by that. I mean, obviously you look at it and you say, well, this game's pretty far out of hand. Putting your best bullpen out there in a meaningless game. What if you come out now? Was there a game that was game 2, right?
That was 2 days ago. Yeah. That was game 3.
3. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense because what if you need him again the next night? Of course, you could pitch on back-to-back nights, but then you burned him
lose
on
him for
2 nights. Exactly. So, yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, I could maybe have seen it if the next day was an off day. I still wouldn't. It still wouldn't make a lot of sense, but it wouldn't have the possibility to be detrimental to the rest of the series, at least not quite as much. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's a head scratcher. Like, I don't know how one would justify doing that.
The crazy thing for me with all of this too is of course going on Twitter and seeing the Astros fans saying how the McCullers wasn't tipping or whatever. He was tipping clear as day. It happened.
Yeah, I mean,
and this one was beyond obvious. If you had a mediocre understanding of baseball, you would pick up on the tipping once it's shown to you in any sort of minor way. And everyone else I've talked to about this has said the same thing. Yeah, no, he was tipping hard. Like, it was immediate, right away. No problem in identifying that.
They were talking about it on the broadcast.
The question, Derek, is that the Astros allowed him to continue pitching while tipping, while this was being spoken about, for about 2 innings.
That's the thing, is they might not have caught it. I've had that situation before. Is you might not see it right away. You can't tell. Granted, it's. I mean, they don't get to hear the broadcasting. So, for instance, like what Dyer said too, them talking about it on the radio or on TV, they don't get to hear that stuff, so they don't know what's going on. I don't think you're going to hear fans literally say, "Hey, you're tipping,"
No,
because
not
you're
in
not.
Philly.
Nobody's going to listen to that to begin with. You don't want to automatically assume because you're getting hit. And that's the thing too, is if you look at all the pitch the pitch, God dang it, pitch location, then you would see like you're also going to go, well, I don't think he's tipping. He's just missing like over the middle of the dish. Like all the hits and home runs are literally almost middle.
Yeah.
So it becomes a bigger issue of, is that really what it was? Was he really tipping, or was he really just missing spots really bad? So it's tough to sit here and say that, because we can sit here and say he's tipping pitches, because there's multiple pitchers that have on the broadcast. They even said Randy Johnson tipped every pitch. Johan Santana tipped his changeup every single time he threw it, and they just didn't hit it. So it's tough to sit here and say, is that truly the reason why he gave up those runs, or was the location missing location the big key too?
I think the crazy part about it, though, to me, and Dyer touched on this, was it was so obvious that the broadcast was picking up on it by the second inning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that and there's a lot of times where pitchers tip routinely, and us non-professional players are never going to pick up on it unless it's, drawn out for us in a Pitching Ninja video or tweet. But
who was in the press box?
Fair point.
So that's the other thing too you got to think about.
But it was also immediately all over social media. People picked up on this one incredibly quickly.
Well, I guarantee
Comparatively,
them putting it on the internet and stuff, they're seeing all that too, so they're probably being informed like, hey, look at this. So you got to keep that in mind too.
yeah. I mean, it was all in all not a good day for the Houston Astros. They turn around, of course, and win the next one. Humidity's high right now in Philadelphia. We've had a lot of rain here, so the balls are flying in that park. Now, of course, by the time you guys listen to this on Spotify, the game will have already ended. In fact, a few games may have, actually, this will be out tomorrow. So the game will have already ended. By the time you listen to this, multiple games, the series, like I said, may be over.
Could.
But depends on listen. They could listen to this like a month from now.
Oh yeah, it's true.
The series could well be over.
But I mean,
here's my take on the game right now, though. Phillies need to win this game.
yep, this is a must win.
You win this game, I think that it's a very good shot that they end up winning the title. If the Phillies win tonight, I think it's a bet money on Philly winning the title. If they lose tonight, Houston's getting a ring. I don't think Philly's going to win 2 in Houston.
Yeah, I still, you look at our predictions. I got Phillies, and you guys got the Yankees. Damn it, that's what popped up on me. I'll pull it a Dyer, and you guys got the Stros.
I like the Astros either way, man. I think that last night took the wind completely out of the sails of the Phillies. I don't think they're going to bounce back from that.
I mean,
if Phillies lose tonight, I think it's all but over. Still have to play the games, obviously, but I think at that point it's pretty much all but over if they lose tonight. Phillies win tonight, they got momentum going into Houston, I think, and then I think there's a really good chance they win 1 of 2 in Houston.
yeah, I mean,
And then baseball's sadly over for the year, which is
for a few months.
well the year ends and then
Comes back up.
2023 starts and baseball starts again. Derek, so.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just trying to get a job. That's all. Just trying to get a job.
Yeah. Me too, buddy.
We're the
Listen.
unemployed kids.
We're the unemployed kids. Dyer's the only Dyer and Tyler are the only adults here who actually do have to work for a living right now.
Sometimes I'd rather be unemployed.
No, it's boring. Trust me, it sucks.
You don't
I've
say
been
that.
Well, listen, Derek, I don't get to golf every day.
I don't either.
But yeah, it's been fun. Have you guys seen any of the videos, the Twitter videos coming out of Citizens Bank Park?
I can't say I have,
Man, there have been fights.
but I know you were telling me about.
Mattress Mac got into an altercation with a Phillies fan.
They're tough fans, man.
It's tough. It's tough out there. Following a Philly.
Yeah, they are tough fans.
There's another word for that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
They're Philly fans. What do you want from them?
Yeah. I was just
Uh,
saying.
But yeah, it's a fun series. It's a good place to play. If Philly wins, again, who had Philadelphia in the World Series on their bingo card this year? Very few people. And if you're one of those guys who puts like, I'll put $100 on my favorite team to win the World Series or to make the World Series, man, you're sitting happy right now. If you're a Phillies fan, you're sitting real. I wonder actually what it was. What do you guys think it was?
For
The Phillies to win the World Series.
I feel
What do you-
like it
what
was
do you think-
probably long odds, but maybe not as long as you would think. The Phillies were supposed to be pretty good this year, right? Weren't they a pick to win that division from a lot of folks?
yeah,
just
I
kinda
would say
started out
it's,
shitty.
I'd say it's probably a decent. I'd say it's decent odds.
I don't know,
So-
maybe what, like plus 1,300?
It was
Probably say
It
even more than
was-
that.
so the MGM Grand at the start of the season this year had Philadelphia to win the World Series at plus 3,000.
Woo!
Damn.
So you put a nice little $100 bet down on there. There you go. Actually, in September when the Phillies lost 10 of 14, MGM dropped to plus 4,000 for the Phillies to make the World Series. So you know there's some you bet at the All-Star break on them making the World Series plus 4,000. Middle of July, towards the end of July, beginning of August, plus 5,000 for them to make the World Series. So there was some money to be made there if you were lucky and you could see the future.
I definitely can't see the future.
No, if I could, I'd be winning the Powerball.
Yep. You ain't the only
Nobody
one.
won that again?
Nope. You better get those
Nope.
tickets.
$1.5 billion,
Yep.
which means the takeaway will be probably right around 800 million. Maybe a little less than that. 800, 750 million. If one of us wins the lottery, you can guarantee there'll be some changes made to this podcast, meaning that one of us is going to disappear for a little bit. Maybe I'll just go buy myself a private island somewhere and just retire.
I'd still be on the podcast, but you guys would know because I would be wearing like a Flava Flav gold chain around my neck, and you'd actually see me because I'd have internet good enough for you to be able to see me.
You have a camera crew, a makeup lady.
That's pretty good.
Are you gonna have a craft services table?
Right. I'll be eating fucking lobster during the podcast.
Rock lobster.
What guys? Nothing's different. I'm still the same guy.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Not now. Not now. We're not now. Okay, I can have my perm later. No, we're someone goes up to you. I'll take. Let's go with the platinum chain today. And we're gonna drive the Bugatti to Wendy's. Yeah.
It's a Bugatti. Whew.
But yeah, I mean, listen, you could buy 800 Bugattis with your lottery winnings, Dyer. But don't
It's a
forget
good investment.
the real winner of the Powerball, United States government.
That's true.
Easiest lottery win in the world for them, every time. Tax on the tickets, tax on the prize. Why not? Why not? The game tonight, Noah Syndergaard, he has a limit of 3 to 4 innings. So Derek, even if he's throwing a no-hitter after 4, he will be gone from this game.
It's,
The other question I want to ask you though, Derek, before we move on to college football and all that fun stuff.
yeah.
Justin Verlander is a phenomenal pitcher.
Yes, he is.
He is one of the best regular season pitchers in the world.
Absolutely trash in the World Series.
The postseason.
Oh, I thought it was just the World Series.
He's specifically the World Series. He's not exactly great in the postseason, but the World Series he has yet to show up. what are some reasons that could be? From a
Probably
pitcher's
my,
point
my
of view.
guess would be he's putting too much pressure on himself. That would be the only thing I could think of. Yeah, I mean, that's really the main thing that's all I can really hint to and think of.
Because he has multiple times disappointed his fans in the World Series by just not being the pitcher that they thought he would be. Or they expect he would be in the World Series. The interesting side of it here is he's done everything else. He is proven himself on every stage except the World Series. Do you think he does that tonight, or do you think we see another classic Justin Verlander World Series showing?
I hate to say it. I mean, I got the Phillies winning tonight to begin with, just because I just think they're gonna feast on this. But I don't think he's gonna have a good one. They said right now, if Bumgarner started today, gave up 17 home runs, didn't finish the inning, he would still have a lower ERA than Verlander in the World Series.
If you were a pitching coach right now for the Houston Astros, how short is his leash today?
It's not, because I know how he is as a pitcher. My biggest thing is going to tell him over and over, remind him, we know how great you are. Just be Justin. Don't go out there and try to be a hero or anything different. Do what you've been doing your whole career. Focus on you. Don't put more pressure on yourself. Live in this moment and go pitch for pitch. Do not sit there and add any more pressure that you need. You don't need this. One pitch at a time, stay within yourself and execute your pitches. You will win this game if you do that. Don't try to trick them. Don't try to overthink. Pitch Verlander baseball. Do what Justin does.
You think that's his thing? As you said before, it's just he overthinks and tries to win the game himself in the past in the World Series?
It could be. I mean, he's such a fucking good pitcher. So if I had to guess, that's what it is. I think he's putting too much pressure on himself, and that's what's killing him.
Because it's just weird to me that he's that good of a pitcher consistently, in just the World Series he falls apart.
Yeah, I mean he
falls apart spectacularly.
He's doing too much for himself. He doesn't need to do that. He is a damn good pitcher, and he knows it. If he would just sit there and just be him and not add any more pressure to himself, he's going to be just fine. And that's why I think personally he is going to be fine. But I just don't see him winning today's game. He is not going to win today. Unless if the way he wins is he pitches Justin Verlander baseball. The way he loses is he puts on Justin Verlander playoff World Series, put more pressure on myself than pitching a regular game.
Yeah, because the Astros are going to have the advantage. It's a Phillies bullpen game today. And the Phillies bullpen has not been great. They've been good this postseason, but it's a time for the Astros to, if they can get the bats alive, to really put a dent and try to make it difficult on the Phillies. But it's going to come down to which Verlander shows up. Because if Verlander's giving up runs as fast as the Astros are putting them out, it's going to be another game. But, Dyer, what do you think?
They don't need him to go out there and be Cy Young, you know?
Cy Young
that's
never
the
won a
biggest
Cy
thing.
Young. Just remember that.
Wait,
What'd you say?
Cy Young never won a Cy Young.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Trash pitcher.
What a piece of
Trash.
shit.
Garbage. You know what? It's not even his fault. It's the media members' fault. Not even voting for him.
That's true. They probably thought that he couldn't be a first ballot Cy Young winner.
No.
What? No, that doesn't work. But no, seriously, I mean, they don't need him to go out and throw a no-hitter, or they don't need him to go out and throw a complete game shutout. Just have a quality start, man. You don't have to, like you said, be Justin Verlander. Don't go out there and do anything else. Don't go out there and try and win the game yourself because you're not going to score any runs. Go out there, have a decent start. If you go 6 1/3 and give up 3, well, you probably had to score more than 3 runs to win that game anyway. Pass it off to the bullpen. Just don't go out there and get your tits ripped off. You give up a couple hits, you put a couple guys on, you give up a run or two. No sweat. Just same as always. Yeah, don't make it more than it is.
And that's the thing that Wash did that so perfect with all of us during the postseason, is just talking to us and keeping us grounded. And, everybody talks about him, how he had that speech with me on the top step and smacked me across the face. That was our thing, though. But he said, and I'm not going to give you the full thing because it's something that I think that just stays with me and him. But it was literally just like I just said about Verlander. Just go out there and pitch your game. Don't try to do too much. Stay within yourself and trust it. Just trust. This is why you're here. These are the moments that you wait for and you live for, and you get this opportunity to go out there and do that to represent your city and everything. So don't add pressure that's not needed. Be you. You're great. That's why you're here. That's why we are here. We're here because of you. So you go out there, you be you, and you take this one pitch at a time. That defense is going to make plays for you, which they do have a great defense. The offense is going to put up runs. You know that. They got a great offense. So do what you do best. Get those motherfuckers out.
So, do what you do best. It's going to be a mantra for a lot of sports teams this week.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is a crazy sports week this week. Got the World Series going on. We have number 1 versus number 3 in college football. We have the weirdest CFP top 25 poll I've ever seen in my life. TCU got shafted. They should be higher. But I think we might as well just have to jump right into that. Derek, do we have an update on how we did last week as a group?
On college?
Yes.
All right. So me and Dyer tied and went 6-3, and Terps went 7-2.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
The game that we all lost, was Oklahoma State. They got their shit handed to them.
Yes, they did. No one saw that coming.
Terps, you made the mistake of taking Nebraska.
I tried.
And Dyer, me and you made the mistake of taking Cincinnati. And
My chat just goes, Terps, you could have been 8-1.
Also with Louisville, we did make the mistake by taking Wake Forest.
I told you.
Sons of bitches.
They barely won, though. I think
But
one
I
of
told ya.
those games they barely won. I forget which one it was.
I told you,
Might have
though.
been Cincinnati. I know. I'm not taking anything away from you. But yeah, I just continue to get later into this losing side of things. It sucks.
But I think we might as well just kick it off with the most important game and the one with the craziest spread.
Oh,
Tennessee
shit.
Volunteers
Hold on.
going to the Georgia Bulldogs. CBS, this is a fucking 3:30 game. Why? Why is this a 3:30 game? Move some shit around. Move it around. Put it at night. This game deserves to be an 8 p.m. start time, 7 p.m. start time. Move some shit around, CBS. I guarantee you that whoever you have in your 8 o'clock spot is not better than this game. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I agree. I think you're 100% on this. I think it's stupid that this should be the game of the week. Just like I felt like last week. I get it. It was a rivalry game against Michigan State, but that they just weren't. Like, that game doesn't match up as well as the Penn State Ohio State game. I think that should have been a night game.
Yep.
Dyer, if you think differently, then tell me. But
I think that game goes differently at night.
Maybe if
Happy
they do
Valley
it
at
up.
night's Happy Valley at night's a
I get it, but
different place.
they also
I
did
still think
not.
Ohio State wins.
Yeah,
I still think
yeah.
Ohio State wins that game. But I think the game goes a little differently. I think it's a little closer, a little later in that game.
I mean, it was still pretty close for what
It
we were.
was. Yeah.
Okay, let's get
But
this back.
Tennessee, Georgia, Georgia has a 74.5% chance of winning this according to ESPN Analytics. Georgia with an 8-point spread right now, 8.5, 6.5 overall. I'll start off and just say it. Tennessee plus the points. This is stupid. I an 8-point spread to Georgia. Listen, Georgia's been really, really good. They have an explosive offense. They do have a very good defense. They've won multiple games in convincing fashion. Yeah, they had a clunker against Mizzou earlier in the year. That happens. Where it took OT to beat them. That happens though. You got to win your clunkers to be one of the best teams in the country. You're gonna have clunker games. Michigan had one against Maryland. You're going to have those games. You have to win those games. That's what shows the great teams from the good teams is you can be undefeated and you can blow teams out every single day. But when you face up adversity, do you buckle down and finish, or do you cave? And they did that. Tennessee really only had trouble against Florida, and it wasn't even trouble. It was just a close game. I wouldn't really call that a clunker. They're not in the same category as Mizzou being that far down. I just don't see Georgia being able to stop Tennessee. Now, will Tennessee be able to stop Georgia? That's a good question. But I think Tennessee is going to outscore them. I like Tennessee plus the points.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Tennessee. I don't think Georgia is as good as they really look to be. I really think Tennessee is the better football team when it comes to this. I'm predicting actually not quite like the Alabama game. I think it's going to be Tennessee, and they think they get up by 10. That's the largest they'll. I mean, they might have a big lead like they did against Alabama, and then they let them back in or whatever. But I think Tennessee is just too strong of a team. Their defense is very, very suspect. They will allow points. That's their biggest weakness right now. But I think going into this, they see where they are. They now have the number 1 rank. That puts a lot onto the plate, and it makes them feel more confident. And they are going to want to go out there and show that they are the number 1 team in this nation. And I feel very confident, just like I did against Alabama, Tennessee by 10. And you know what? Give me the over too.
Okay. Wow. Dyer.
I feel like every big game with Tennessee involved, you just need to hammer the over as much as possible. I mean, they give up points as almost they could play in the Big 12 almost, but
they're 7-1 against the spread. So that tells you something right there, Dyer.
Yeah, and I like it. I like it this week. I don't think Georgia is as good as advertised. Georgia hasn't really played anybody this year. They struggled with Kent State. That score is not necessarily indicative of how close that game was. Kent had some issues where they got a punt blocked in their own end zone for a safety, and that was an 8-point game with, I want to say, like 10 minutes left to play. So you couple that with another bad game after that against Missouri. Kind of found their stride over the last few weeks, but again, nobody even close to what Tennessee is going to be able to do to them. Stetson is going to need some of that cologne because the lovely ladies don't love a loser quarterback. That's what he's going to be on Saturday. Give me Tennessee in the points.
All right. Well, I'm going to take this back from you, Terps. I want to dive in here because I'm really upset about one thing, but I'm going to go to the number 2 team because I got to give that to them. They've earned it. They're taking on Northwestern. I don't think we'll spend any time here on this. The spread is...
I'm taking Northwestern. No.
The spread is 38. It is at Northwestern. Not like that's going to matter, though. It's 38 Ohio State. God almighty, do I see a beat down here. It's 1-7 Northwestern. Give me Ohio State. Give me 38. And give me the over. I think Ohio State wins by 55. That is me on that one. So, and I got Terps. You said it as well.
I'm right with you there. I've in the past on the podcast gone against the spread with Ohio State. I've been picking Ohio State to win. There's no doubt they have been going against the spread against some tougher teams. Listen, they've said fuck your spread every single game. Northwestern is not doing well. They are starting their backup quarterback, however, who is a little bit better. I don't think that's going to be enough. Their defense is non-existent. It does not exist. They have a lot of injuries. And if it wasn't for their coach being who he was, he would have already been fired. Give me Ohio State all the points. I'll take a spread of plus 45 in this game. This is a blowout.
Teasing it. Tease that spread. Northwestern, boy, do they ever freaking stink. My God.
Do they still tarp half their field like they used to? Half the stands?
They should tarp half the field.
Just play quarters?
Yeah. Let's go 20-yard field and 15-minute game. Call it a day. Because Ohio State still might cover the spread, honestly, in a 15-minute game against Northwestern in this one. I mean, they got losses to Southern Illinois and Miami of Ohio this year, if that tells you anything. So it's not like they're getting beat by big teams. They're getting beat by, the shitters of the MAC. So give me Ohio State in this one, and it's going to be a big one.
Well, yeah, that was an easy talk right there. Ohio State for sure. We all agreed on that. I'm jumping to our next team, which obviously is my boys in blue. Very, very upset with, and I get it, like whatever, because of Tennessee and Georgia playing each other. But it just pisses me off is you beat a rival and you beat the shit out of them, and somehow you dropped back in rankings. And they've got over. Correct. And Clemson to me is not very, very overrated. I think they're shit. I don't even know who they play. We're going to find out. They might be on the... Okay. I hope to God they lose. But I'm just disappointed. But this is, to me, I think this game's going to piss off Michigan more than anything because they continue to get overlooked, treated like shit. I'm not saying they're the best team in the country. I'm a true Michigan fan. I love my team to death. And I'm very honest with it. I always have been. Dyer, you can back me up. You've known me for a while. I always back up my team. If they suck, they suck. I'll be honest with you. But this to me, they did not deserve to get knocked back to number 5. You should have kept Clemson there. This will be a blowout. They will definitely get the 26 points. I really feel like they might even do the 45. You're going to see an ass whooping like no other. Corum is going to go off now that he definitely knows his name is in the Heisman running, and he knows that they do not belong in the top 5. They belong in the top 4. Give me fucking Michigan points and over, please, and thank you.
Here's the interesting part about Rutgers here. So Rutgers allows a lot of points. Rutgers also has a top 15 defense. Work that one out in your head. It's field
that's
position.
weird.
It's field position. At the end of the day, Rutgers turns the ball over. They leave you're looking at a guy 740 yards, 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's just one of their 3 quarterbacks. So that gives you an idea right there. A lot of short field. Special teams aren't that good. Greg Schiano does have that defense playing a lot better though. But the short field position is always going to kill Rutgers. It is always going to kill Rutgers. So that's going to be the name of the game here. This game, here's the interesting thing with Rutgers. They're going to stop Michigan a few times. Their defense is good enough. They're not going to stop them enough. Will Michigan take the spread? Probably. But I think this game could be closer than people think for a little bit. But in the second half, Michigan's going to run away with this one. Michigan plus the points in this one. I'll take the over too. Just because I think Rutgers will find a way to score a touchdown, maybe a field goal just by being scrappy. And also Michigan is prone to giving up some big plays. That does happen against them. Find someone open, a big run here or there. Rutgers finds a way to get 10, but at the end of the day, Michigan plus the points. I'll take the over.
Yeah, maybe this one's close at the end of the first quarter. Michigan tends to kind of start slow, it seems like, but as soon as they get that run game going and Corum starts just absolutely steamrolling Rutgers, it's just going to open up the passing game that much more and turn this one into a blowout in the second half. Lights are going to be too bright at night for Rutgers, even at home. I like Michigan to win this one and cover the spread easily.
Altuve leadoff triple, by the way.
Whoop.
Nice. I haven't turned it on yet. I want to dive into this one real quick, and then we'll get back to the top 25. Welcome back, Maryland. You had a nice bye week. Good for you. Needed. You did not lose, but you guys are 6-2. You guys look great. I feel good about this. You're taking on Wisconsin in Wisconsin.
Tough place to play.
It is a tough place to play, but Wisconsin, we've talked about this before, is not that good of a team this year. They've been very disappointed. Yes, but they've been very disappointing. I just think, again, it goes back to what we've talked about. You have the second best wide receiver core in the Big Ten. probably one of the top receiving cores in the country too. I would probably even give you guys the top 5 if it was me, but there are a lot of good receiving cores out there. But you guys are still a great team. You know this. I don't care. It is Wisconsin -5. Give me Maryland +5. I'm not touching the over-under just because that is a risky one. Give me Maryland.
Talia Tagovailoa is back. He's healthy. He's at 100%. Roman Hemby is going to be contender for Big Ten Freshman of the Year. I don't think he's going to win it, but he'll be a contender. Great running back. 681 yards, 7 touchdowns, and only 105 carries. Doing the Lord's work there. The big news for Maryland is starting safety is back. The defensive line is back and healthy again. And Wisconsin does not have any pass defense. Now they are going to put pressure on Toledo to throw. They're gonna challenge him to throw, which leaves Roman Hemby open for the run. Now Maryland's always struggled up at Camp Randall. They've been blown out every time they've been there. It's been different Wisconsin teams, all the same. I think they finally find a way to win one there. I think Maryland plus the points.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that Wisconsin has going for them in this game is that it's at home in one of the more difficult places to play in the Big Ten. I mean, where's their marquee win? You know, I mean, they're not a very good team this year.
Purdue.
Simply put, yeah, Purdue.
Good win.
Yeah, it's a decent win for sure, but I think at the end of the day, Maryland's a better team than Purdue. Yeah, I don't really see Wisconsin winning this game. I don't think it's going to be close enough for Maryland to shoot themselves in the foot, as they like to do sometimes. I think that they win this one relatively comfortably. I don't see a blowout, but I see this one maybe being a double-digit win, 13 points, something like that.
If they do that, they'll have a nice little number 25 or 24 next to their name.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, Terps. I love that for you guys too. I think it's well deserved. Definitely a trip to the Bowls too, so that'll be good for you guys as well. So let's get that dub. All right, I'll be a Maryland fan this weekend for you, just so
and then
we
we
can
get a
get
ranked
that.
matchup in Happy Valley the next week.
Ooh, that could be big though. That could be big. You could be upset city.
Let's not look ahead too much, but if they win that one, then all of a sudden that Ohio State Maryland game that might get some ABC billing.
That's true, and
a noon. Or actually, I take that back, Di. You know what that game's going to be? If Maryland wins the next 3 games against Ohio State, man, let me tell you, we're going to have a killer big noon Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Well, with that,
I get some college game day that week.
we do hope to see it. That's for sure. But we got to
just because we have to, just for giggles, because we have to say it every single week. Minnesota, Nebraska, Minnesota.
That's where I was going.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally was just about to say that. It is. I hate to say it. Unfortunately, this just isn't the year for Nebraska. I really want to pick them, but I don't. I'm sorry.
Well, luckily, our good editor Tyler will be out hunting all weekend, so he won't have to.
Nobody
won't have to watch this.
Nobody wants Nebraska before I switch to the next game, right?
It's a plus 16 spread, Di. You don't want the points?
Nope.
Yeah, but you can't get them. We don't do points in this.
Yeah.
This is straight up. You pick, we go from there. The game that we're going to now, this is the one that pisses me off more than anything because they are in front, and it's fucking Clemson taking on Notre Dame. Oh, man, a part of me just
Huge
really
game.
It's a big game. A part of me really wants to take Notre Dame just because, but unfortunately, I know it won't work out that way. They are playing in Notre Dame. It is 3.5. Fuck it, why not? I'm taking Notre Dame just because I'm pissed. I want touchdown Jesus to show off big time and get that upset. Storm that fucking field. Give me Notre Dame. This could be a dumb pick, but boy, do I feel good about this now because I fucking hate Clemson.
Remind me real quick, Derek. Did I pick Notre Dame last week to blow out Syracuse?
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
I don't think we picked that.
No,
game
no, we
last
didn't
week,
do
did
that. We didn't do that game.
I thought we did.
Nope.
Anyway, I knew they were going to win last week anyway. And they did. They blew up.
You're making up your own
Syracuse.
rules. You're making up your own rules.
Listen, that's what us Mets fans do. Okay, leave me alone. We play by a different rule book. That said, yeah, huge game. Clemson going into Notre Dame. Notre Dame has a habit of not winning big games, a la, the playoffs. But this is the playoffs. Derek's praying right now What are we praying about, Derek?
I want you to pick touchdown, Jesus.
Oh, that's good because I am.
Yeah, fuck you, Dyer, because I know he's not picking them.
Notre Dame with the big upset. Not only upset, the bowl eligibility quietly 6-3, and this will give them wins over number 16 BYU, number 16 Syracuse, and number 4 the Clemson Tigers. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish might find themselves back into the AP poll. They keep playing like this.
I love that out of you, Terps.
Notre Dame plus the points, only 3.5. So, and I'm taking the over because there's not going to be any defense play in this game. Continue. Dyer.
I'm on mute. Anyway, Notre Dame. What Notre Dame team are we going to get? Which one? Who knows? Nobody knows.
Stanford or
Clemson
Syracuse?
team? Exactly. Which Clemson team are you get? They're 8-0. They haven't lost, but I mean they haven't necessarily looked great in a lot of games. They haven't really put it all together against the good teams. I'm not buying Notre Dame until Notre Dame gives me a reason to buy. I haven't seen it yet. Clemson is winning against the ranked teams. One way or the other, they're getting those dubs. I think they continue getting the dub this week. Notre Dame does not slow them down. Clemson keeps going. What was the spread on this one?
3.5.
Oh, easily. Yeah, easily covering that. Clemson.
Listen, Notre Dame is 2-1 against ranked teams this year. Okay, 2-1.
Wait,
It was like Syracuse and UNC.
Syracuse and BYU, excuse you. And it lost to Ohio State. Now we don't have to talk about how BYU got blown out of the water by Liberty and has lost, the last 4 games. But they were ranked at the time. Notre Dame beat them. Liberty, the independent king this year.
I know you guys got me on that one. Actually, I think Terps was the only one to do it. No, Dyer was actually. Dyer was the one that picked Liberty. Me and you, Terps, picked BYU the one week.
Listen, Dyer learned after talking shit against the Tulane Green Wave. Okay, he learned.
He did take that one. I will say that.
He learned to not mess with a group of fives.
That's all right.
Dyer's a smart man.
Well, the next game, this one is going to be a nice, interesting one. I'm really intrigued by this matchup before I get to. There's so many good games actually this week that I'm pretty pumped about, but this one is another one that's obviously it's a night game because of who it is. Alabama going to LSU. That is a tough place to play too. Those two go at it big time every time. I've watched many of those, or I watched one of those games in college. I was recruited by Alabama, and that was one of the games I got to watch. Alabama at LSU is a tough one for me. We know that the BCS, whatever, the college poll, whatever they are, the group, those assholes really love Alabama, and they cannot afford to see Alabama lose 2 games. They want to get them back into that college playoff more than anything. But I just don't know if they have what it takes to go into LSU and beat LSU. But then again, I do. Alabama is who I'm going with on this one. They are going to go into LSU and they are going to win. It will be close. They will not cover. They are known not to cover the spread. We know this. We've talked about this before. They will not be covering the 13.5 that they are owning up to. Give me Alabama, though.
LSU is about to be the highest ranked 7-2 team of all time after this game, because they're gonna beat Alabama this week. Alabama. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with this game.
I'm not gonna lie. I like this.
Alabama has got 2 major games on their schedule coming up that are going to dictate their playoff hopes. They have LSU, and then they also have the week after that. They have a nice old date at Ole Miss on the road 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row for them.
But let me say this though, while and I don't like to cut you off when you're talking about your game, but Ole Miss can't figure out. Lane Kiffin cannot figure out Nick Saban.
I'm
Just
agreeing
throwing
with
that
you
there. Throwing that
I'm
out
agreeing
there.
with you. Also, Justin Verlander starts off his World Series with a solo hole shot to Kyle Schwarber. Tie game. That said, LSU smells blood in the water. This is their year.
I do. I wouldn't go
This
that
is-
far.
No, they're not making the playoffs. I'm not saying it's
Okay.
their year to win it all. It's their year against Alabama.
Okay. I like it. I like your pick. I'm not gonna. That's why I said this is a
LSU
tough one.
LSU controls their destiny. LSU's going to find themselves. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. LSU wins this game. Cool. LSU's got a Charmin Ultra Soft back end of the schedule. Double cool. LSU's in the SEC West championship game. Triple cool. That means we get LSU versus the winner of Georgia Tennessee, most likely. And the winner of that game, man, if LSU beats Tennessee or Georgia, does a 2-loss team make it to the playoffs? Questions to ask later.
Yeah.
Questions to ask later. But that said, give me LSU. They're gonna win this game. And you know what? Everyone's gonna act surprised about it, but at the same time, all the talking heads on ESPN, they're gonna have seen this coming. Just watch.
I really respect that decision, though. I like your pick. I really like that.
I feel this one. I might bet on this. I might bet on this one. They're plus 400. Fuck yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Go
Sorry.
get him.
Only gamble if it's legal in your state. Higher.
I'm only looking at one game as the evidence for my pick right now. Against the defensive juggernaut at home. Against the defensive juggernaut, Tennessee, LSU could only muster 13 points. Not 30 days ago. LSU not only loses at home to Alabama, they get blown out of the stadium. Give me Alabama all day.
That's a good one. Well, we're going to dive into another good ranked matchup. We've got Texas going to Kansas State and playing a hot Kansas State. They looked good last week against Oklahoma State. So I'm very excited to see that. I want to see how Texas is. But Texas is so good with Quinn Ewers. I like that kid back there. Like I've talked about him before. He trained with me and everything. The kid's got an arm. But if there is pressure on him, he does tend to slip up and get pretty sloppy. He does not look as sharp. But their Robinson, their running back, is another great one. Trying to threaten with Blake Corum. I don't see that happening as well. And they got a nice recruit from Michigan with Worthy. But I don't know if they can actually go into K-State and hang with them. Or maybe they can. So I will go ahead and take Texas on that one. I'm going to take that because I do feel a little bit better about their QB situation. I feel like they've got a lot to get going. They will move up as a 6-3 team, and they will end up beating them bad. I feel at least by 10, maybe 14. So that is where we're at with that. So I'm going to take Texas.
Hey, Derek.
Yes.
Tyler's favorite quarterback might be coming back off the injured list. If he does he throw his first interception of the series of the season?
100%. I
You said
will.
that last
That's
time.
I know.
You
and
said that last
I
time.
know, and
You
I'm
said it
going.
last time.
I'm going to take that the Texas D will get the pick from him. They're going to put pressure on him.
If he plays. If he doesn't play, then of course it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But they're going to put pressure on him, and that's where he's going to end up making the mistake. He's going to try to run around. He's not going to be able to do that as much. Texas is a little bit quicker than that on the defensive side. I just feel like he runs into just to be honest, it might be a cheap one. His first one might be a cheap one, then his second one will be a legit one.
Like a
It goes off of somebody.
tap.
Yeah.
Hits off someone's chest and they don't catch the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's something stupid like that. Clint Rupp happy about that one.
This is a tough one for me because as a Maryland fan, it's very hard for me to pick Texas. We're 2-0. We're 2-0. Come play us again. Y'all scared. Listen, this is a must-win for Texas. This is a must-win game for Texas. It's gonna add some validity to their season. They are holding on for dear life in the rings. I'm actually surprised they came in at 24th in the country in the college football poll. They obviously like what they see from them. Texas has not been the dominant superpower that people thought they were going to be this year. Granted, had some injuries, and maybe that all goes back to the 1 point loss to Alabama. at the end of the day. Maybe there's something there. They've looked good against the teams they needed to look good against. They've struggled against the other ranked opponent they have, which is Oklahoma State. Big game for Texas. Equally big game for for Kansas State. They want to be 7-2. They want to solidify that they deserve to be in the top 10 in the next college football poll. They did well against Oklahoma State. They bent them over a table. So that tells me something right there. Now the question is who starts? Who starts this game? They seem to be way more dynamic with the backup quarterback than they did with Mr. Adrian Martinez. 7 p.m. on FS1. Oh, this one's hard. But I like an underdog, so I'm going to take Kansas State. I'm not going to horns down, though, because it's not that kind of game. And Texas will fall out the rankings and stay out of the rest of the season if they lose this game.
Texas with a $. Texas comes out and plays well against ranked teams. Not so much against unranked teams, but Kansas State's ranked. The purple Wildcats, the softest looking uniforms for a Wildcat that I've ever seen.
Not wrong.
Not a fan. Not a fan of the uniforms, but I am a fan of the team this week. I think they win it in a close game, high scoring game. Both teams above 40. Kansas State wins a close one, 3 points.
So you're taking the over 54.5 too?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yep.
I like that. Well, let's get to one last game. I think that would do it for us here on that side of it. I'm trying to look here and see if there was anybody else that
Tulane
was close.
versus the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes.
You really
Green
want
Wave
that,
versus
don't you?
Hurricanes. I just want Dyer to do it. That's all. It's 7.5 point spread. It's 7.5 points.
You
That's
would
all.
probably want I'm surprised you don't want Syracuse and Pittsburgh.
We can do that too. I just want Dyer to take on the Tulane Green Wave.
Let's go with number 21 taking on number 22. We've got Wake Forest at North Carolina State, the battle of 6 and 2s.
Boo.
Both 2 and 2 in the ACC.
Boo.
It's a tricky game, but man, oh man, give me Carlos Rodon with the NC State Wolfpack.
Both these teams don't deserve the ranking next to their name.
And that's why
I'm
one
just
of them
gonna say
loses it.
I'm just gonna say it. Neither one. They should both lose it. Both of they. If this game is close, take it away from both of them. Neither one of them deserve to be in the rankings at all. Wake Forest. I said this last week, and y'all said I was crazy. Biggest sham of a top 15 team out to top 10 team of all time is what they were last week. Prove me right. They're gonna prove me right again because NC State's gonna end up winning this game. I have no faith in the Demon Deacons whatsoever. I have no faith in the NC State Wolfpack at all. You against ranked opponents, they've just not been well. Clemson, they lost. Syracuse, bent them over a table. Yeah. Thank God this game's on the ACC network, so I don't have to watch it. But give me North Carolina State.
Dyer's on
I
mute
got so
again.
angry about this one.
No, I'm still here. The Deeks and the Wolfpack. I don't like the Wolfpack. Haven't liked them all year, and I don't like them this time. I like the Wake Forest Demon Deacons for the win, and you need to look again no further than the win that they had against the juggernaut this year of Liberty Bibberty. Wake Forest knocked them down. They're put up 45 against Clemson in a loss. I like Wake Forest in this one. Give it to me.
It's going to be fun when Liberty makes some really random, high-powered bowl game because they're 7-1. And we're going to have our interesting conversation what happens Liberty versus like a bottom half Big Ten or SEC team.
I'll go to the game.
Are you going to... Would you...
We need one more game, and just for Terps, it's going to be the Tulane taking on Tulsa.
Oh!
I had to do it because we're at 9 games, so I was like, fuck it, let's make it 10.
Well, let's go quickly because, Derek, I think, I want to give Dyer his due here, but I'm taking Tulane, the Green Wave, and give me the point. 7.5. Nah. Green Wave's going to roll all over that Hurricane.
Yeah, I'm taking Tulane as well.
Dyer, the floor is yours for your second team.
Tulane versus Tulsa. The Green Wave versus the Golden Shower, baby. And that's what we're going to see is they're going to get pissed on. Tulane with the win.
Are you going to buy a Tulane jersey, Dyer?
Hell yeah.
If they win out the rest, if Tulane only ends with one loss in the season, are you gonna rep the Tulane Green Waves.
Hell yeah!
They got a big game against UCF in 2 weeks, man. In
I
fact,
could just wear a Newark Catholic jersey around. They just completely ripped them off.
In fact, Derek, do you have a green blanket he can borrow when down there in Dallas? Because that's when they play UCF.
Nope, I don't have anything green because that is. Oh, never mind. I got Stars stuff. But never mind. It doesn't
Guess
work. I
you're
was gonna say,
bringing
it's too close to Michigan State.
I guess you're bringing down a football jersey there, Dyer, because I'm gonna need to see you repping some Green Wave in Dallas. It's gonna be a big ranked matchup for them. Big ranked matchup against UCF.
Well, let's dive into the NFL. I know one of the games has already started, which kind of sucks because it's one of the games I wanted to pick. So we'll probably put that game first. I do want to say though, last week Terps, me and you went 4-4. Dyer with a 5-3. I just want to say, for somebody who loves his team, Dyer did the right thing. He went against it and they won. So thank you, Dyer, for sacrificing your pick on that one when it comes to the Brownies and the Bunghorse.
Hell yeah.
But first up, I know I can give a score update. You guys can use it however you want. It is the Eagles and the Texans. I want to go ahead and just fly through it real quick. They're undefeated. Texans are trash, but right now they do have the lead, but the Eagles are driving. I got the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles. Go for it, guys.
Same.
Yeah, Houston's horrible. I don't know who they played last week, but they stunk too, and they look like shit. So, yeah, these 7 points that the Texans have right now, probably the only 7 points they score all game.
All right. Well, the Cleveland Browns are on a bye after their beautiful victory. So, as the shirt says, here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Ooh. There he is. I was making sure he did it. But we're going to go ahead and dive right into this one. It's the Dolphins taking on the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Sorry, but I'm this one will be kind of quick too. Man, Dolphins. They're just not going to be able to contain that offense.
Yeah, listen, this is another one of them. I'm going to say the same fucking rant I say every week. It's a 4.5 point spread. Vegas. Hello? Like, let me just take a look at the Dolphins' last 5 here. Let's see. 31-27. Dyer, is that more than 4?
31-27, did you say?
Yeah.
That is 4.
It's right there, right? Yeah. 16-10. Oh wait, that's 6. 24-16. What's that, Dyer?
8.
Okay. 40-17.
More.
27-15.
23. Yeah, that's 12.
Let's look at the Bears. 49-29.
20.
33-14.
More.
12-7.
12-7. 5. Yep. More.
29-22.
6.
20-12.
That was 7 actually. I feel like I'm on minute to win it. 2012. More. It's 8.
I rest my case. Dolphins.
But you guys got to respect the Chase Claypool trade. He's a big receiver. He's a
True.
number 1 guy. Too bad.
He's trash.
Too bad Justin Fields is still throwing him the ball. And too bad that offensive line is still blocking for Justin Fields. Dolphins all day. I saw that trade, and Chase Claypool has just got to be pissed that he went from the situation with the quarterback and the whole team in Pittsburgh to that dumpster fire of Chicago that is years upon years away from being anything decent.
Maybe not
Miami all
agreeing
day.
with you right now, Dyer.
Well, let's dive into another quick game. I think this is need to be talked about. We got the Bungholes taking on the Panthers. A battle of a 2-6 and a what should be a much better team, but not 4-4 Bungholes. They are at home, so they're going to be playing in the jungle. Joe Burrow is going to have a bounce back game. They're very disappointed that they lost to the Browns. I know it. The Battle of Ohio still stays with the Cleveland Brownies. Bada bing, bada boom. They are the realest team in the room. So we'll go ahead. Joe Burrow's going to freaking kill it. I know he doesn't have Ja'Marr Chase, but he's still going to go off. T. Higgins will have himself a day. Give me the bungholes.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Bounce back week for him. Exactly what you said was going to happen last week is what happened last week. But again, he'll bounce back. Carolina's just not been good. Carolina's just not what the Panthers have been in the past. Yeah, Cincinnati.
Backup quarterback. Number 1 running back just traded. Panthers still putting some points up on the board, though. Got to give them some credit. But Bengals defense is not a bad defense. Not a great defense, but solid unit. I don't think they're going to be able to do. I don't think the Panthers are going to be able to do what they did last week against the Falcons. I think Cincinnati wins this one comfortably.
Then we dive into the Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Jets. It's 5-3 Jets. They're not playing too bad a ball. Buffalo is just too good offensively and defensively. I just feel that they are here to run away with this one. The spread scares me a little bit because the Jets are playing pretty decent football. So I don't know where that's going to play a factor, but I just feel like the Bills are just too good of a team. I mean, they're the number 1 team in the NFL for a reason. They've got so many weapons. They're just a really good team. I got to go with Buffalo.
Yeah, Zach Wilson scaring me right now. 3 touchdowns to 5 interceptions for him. Mr. Allen, 6 interceptions himself, but 19 touchdowns. So a little bit more of a spread there. Yeah, Buffalo's going to overpower. The Giants are going to be the best team in New York City this year, unfortunately. But yeah, give me the Bills in this one. The spread 11.5. We got a real spread. I don't think it's going to be 11.5. I think it'll be under.
The Jets have beat the Broncos, the Packers, the Dolphins, the Steelers, and the Browns. Need I say more? Bills all day. And I do like the Bills to cover.
All right. Well, with that, we go to the next game. I wanted to make it a little bit different. Maybe we would get some different picks because we are matched up evenly on all these games so far.
They're like just obvious games, although Jamie thinks we're crazy.
So let's do a stupid game with the Raiders, and the Jaguars. Yes, that's why I said we are going there for sure. I mean, the next game too. Well, there's a lot of NFL games I want to get just because I want to try to give us some more games. I feel like we can do that. But this one, pretty boy, Trevor Lawrence needs to pick his shit up. I had a bet going of who would have more wins this year. I picked the Browns. I thought for sure they would have more wins than the Jaguars. This is one that they get back. There's just something going on with the Raiders. They're 0-4 when they're away, especially going to the East Coast. I just don't feel like they're going to play good. The weather will be nice, though. It's going to be 72. But Jacksonville, I just think, is going to be the better team. Give me the Jaguars.
Listen, Derek, you're trying to get different picks here, but you're picking an easy game again. I mean, the 0-4 away is all you need to know in this game. Trevor Lawrence, he wants to be back at Clemson. That's never going to happen for him. He's past that. But yeah, he will get a win for Jacksonville this weekend.
Sunshine. Ronnie Bass. Looking motherfucker, but nowhere near as cool. Trevor Lawrence going to pick up the dub because the Raiders stink and they couldn't even score on the shitbag Saints.
Okay. We go to a game that's going to be interesting. This is one of the better teams in the NFL. They are 6-1 with the Vikings. They're taking on the Commanders, or as I'm going to call it, the Washington Redskins. This one is interesting to me because this could be big for the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, their division. Because if they win, that helps create a little bit more with that division, gets them closer to being in the playoffs. There was a rumor that we could possibly see every team from that division get into the playoffs. Vikings have the upper hand on the Cowboys. I just see this as Vikings going down. I've got the upset It is a 12 o'clock game, which that's where Kirk Cousins shines, is in day games. But I've already committed to it, and I really want to see it. Heineke having himself a day. Go ahead and give me the Commanders.
Skull, my brother, skull. Because the Vikings are going to be drinking their way out of Washington with a dub.
Kirk Cousins, mediocre quarterback extraordinaire, is going to show you his Heineke because guess what? The Purple People leaders picking up the W.
Finally got our first game that everybody was different. Thank God for my stupid pick. That works. That's
to be fair, the garbage game you picked, which we thought would be a good one, it's just the Raiders they leave home and they get scared. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. Well, we got the Seahawks taking on the Cardinals in Arizona, in the desert. But we got Coach Bro taking on Coach Old Man. I can't think of his name right now. Pete Carroll. Well, Pete Carroll has turned Geno Smith into a Heisman Trophy winner instantly overnight, even though that's not what they play for in the NFL. But I gotta say, Geno Smith looks incredible right now with the Seahawks. I mean, he does. He looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's not, but he just looks that good. It makes you wonder how much was he making an impact with Russell Wilson when he was there. Was Russell Wilson really that good, or was it Pete Carroll taking care of his guys? But with that, I don't know if Coach Bro is going to be able to hang on to this one. But then again, DeAndre Hopkins is back, and he played out of his ass that last game. So go ahead and give me Arizona, and they will cover.
I'm a fan of anybody named Geno. And guess what? We've got the father, illegitimate, of our friend Head Richards and big face Pete Carroll on the sidelines this weekend. Pete loves throwing his big face into the screen, and Kyler Murray's going to get upset and probably yell at all the coaches on the sideline. He's going to fuck up big time somehow, and it's going to be somebody else's fault some way. I like the Seahawks to win this one.
Anyone who can turn Geno Smith into a serviceable NFL quarterback is going to win the game. Seahawks.
Wow, you guys did that quick. Well, okay. With that being said, we come down to we have 2 games left. I might as well just go ahead and use those 2. The last game is the Titans taking on the Chiefs in Kansas City. Titans are red hot. I mean hot. Derrick Henry has turned it up a notch. They have won their last 5 in a row. I like this matchup. It's going to be tough. And this is the matchup again of going against, what was it, the championship series? Is that right? These guys played before, a little rematch?
I think so.
It was a while back. I think it was the first year. I think it's when he played against Brady in the Super Bowl, or Mahomes did. But Kansas City is just so damn good. They continue to shine, find the weapons. It's supposed to be rainy. Man, if there's rain, that's the thing that's going to get me. Derrick Henry might not be able to run as much. It's going to be an interesting game. That rain is going to be playing a major factor. I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I will not be taking that spread.
See, I don't know. The rain, we might see a little more heavy use of Derrick Henry. Depends on how that ball's sitting. Depends on how that ball's feeling coming out of the hand. But I will say, Smashville is going to be heading their way over to Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to walk away being 6-2. Tennessee with the win.
Ooh.
Tennessee can't score. 19 points against the Colts and 17 against the Texans. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. You know who can score? The Kansas City Chiefs. Even in the rain. I love the Chiefs. They're no stranger to bad weather. Arrowhead is not known for its tropical climate, okay? The Chiefs are there. The Chiefs are better. The Titans can do one thing well, and that's run the ball. One-dimensional teams. I don't like them. Chiefs all day.
Well, this is our final game. It is, to me, a stupid game. I don't like it. I already know who's going to win it. It's going to be the Ravens taking on the Saints in the Dome. Lamar, to me, is just that much better when there's no weather in his way. It's easier for him to run around as well. I mean, the dude's got 553 carries, yards already. He hasn't been he's been very good. He's been very MVP like. He's up there. I mean, he's not Pat Mahomes like, but he's up there. It's minus 2.5. We can go ahead and throw that out. They are going to win by 10 at least. Give me the Ravens, the Blackbird.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to win by 10, but the Ravens are gonna win this game. The Saints have shown absolutely nothing this year, absolutely nothing. Baltimore is still fighting to be heard a little bit. They said top of division 5-3. Some people could argue a little bit of a shaky 5-3. Yeah, if you ask some fans, mainly Cleveland fans, get that right there. But
why me? What about Dyer? Are you fucking kidding me?
I picked on Dyer with Tulane. I gotta pick on you too.
Oh, okay.
It's an even.
I'll give you
poke the
that.
bear. So, also you got a face cam so I can see your reaction. Dyer's still hiding.
Yeah, I know. It's bullshit.
Bullshit is what it is. But yeah, Baltimore Ravens gonna win this one. Mr. Tulane.
Terps is an equal opportunity picker honor. He picks on me, he picks on Derek, he picks his right nostril, he picks his left nostril.
You gotta do both. You gotta balanced.
You gotta.
Hey, left nut.
Lisa Left Nut Lopez.
No, you're supposed to say, hey, right nut. And I was going to be like, oh, there's a penis in between us. Never mind.
That one went over my head.
Yeah, I know it did.
Just like the penis.
A real dick.
Went over my head just like every ball that the Red Rocket throws. Is he still quarterbacking for the Saints?
Correct.
Yep, he stinks.
That was good.
Michael
Dyer.
Thomas out for the year. In the Dome. Don't care if they're at home. You're right. I just blanked on his name. Anyway, the Ravens are going to run all over the Saints here. It's not going to be close. I wouldn't touch the Saints with a 12-foot pole in this one, with a 12-foot penis.
Jesus.
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
Well, that's it for our sports picks right there. I didn't do the total records leading into it. I definitely can. You're just going to have to remind me. Actually, I'm going to put baseball not included yet. And I'll be able to calculate that 1 second.
Are we doing a show next Monday? Or are we going to skip?
It's going to be
cannot do
interesting.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting on how we do that. So you guys probably, we'll have to try to see. We'll just tell them it's an up in the air because we're not sure. We don't know what's going to happen. We still got to see what happens with the rest of this weekend. Monday is going to be kind of tough. I am going hunting Sunday and coming back Monday. I should be back Monday night. So I'll be back in time, but we shall see. Bases loaded, by the way.
But we are doing a little bit of a shorter show tonight. We do have a little bit of a time limit we have to hit for Mr. Dyer, and it's good for us. Is there anything else we want to talk about real quick before we talk about the elephant in the room, the event that's happening next week?
No, because I'm trying to. Well, you guys go ahead.
Dyer, anything you want to talk about before we head on to the event next week?
No. Good.
Well, we're gonna end the show. Like I said, a little bit of a short show. Editor No will be very happy for this one, but it's short for good reason. It's because we're all very excited for the 60 Feet 6 event going on next week on November 10th in the Lava Cantina. 60feet6.org to get your tickets today. And if you're listening in the future and it's already passed, be sure to check 60feet6.org to see all the pictures, highlights, videos, everything that's gonna be coming out from that show, and how you can find out ways to still donate or participate wherever you want. Derek, any other information you can share? Of course, we already know Casey Donahue is going to be headlining the event for us this week, but the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, I want to just say that obviously next week, it's next Thursday. But November 10th, for those that are listening, we will be at the Lava Cantina in the Colony in Dallas. That's the best way I can put it. It's near Frisco, Plano area, to be honest. We will have the concert for Casey Donahue, who is going to be performing. But I want to share something that was very important to me that got brought up. Obviously, you're going to hear how the foundation started. We will possibly get to do some sort of streaming. I don't know how, but there's a chance we'll have the GoPros going as well.
I'll be there to do whatever I need to.
Yeah, well, I do have a cameraman that actually is going to be walking around, but he will not be streaming. Now, Terps, on the other hand, and he might be able to. I don't know if Dyer's going to get to make it. Something did come up with him. There are obvious reasons, so that's okay. But I do want to share that one of the kids will be coming, and he was there last year. His name was Jake. He's the one that announced Chase Rice out onto the stage. So we're going to get to see him again. There is going to be a couple other kids. We're going to get to hear from them too. So it's actually quite, it's going to be quite cool to hear from these kids, and also being able to put that legacy out of the kids that have passed away with Briggsberry and Adriana Nixon. But again, we're going to talk about the foundation, listen to some great music, and just raise money and raise awareness to help those that are going through these tough times. And it's not just specifically going to be about kids with cancer. We're going to be able to talk, period, about anything. It could be mental health of what we're doing. We're going to be walking around. We're going to be able to have plenty of time to get that together and interact with the fans. And be sure to say hi to me. I know Cole Hamels will be there. Obviously, Terps will be there. I'm not sure if Choppy was going to make it. I know Dyer, unfortunately, last minute, something has come up, so he will not be there. But we will still be able to have a lot of the guys there. You'll have a lot of people there. It should be a very good time. But if you want to get involved with it, go to 60feet6.org, or you can follow the Instagram 60feet6. And just for the record, because Mike Bassick was having troubles with this, I want to make sure people know, we joked about this last night when we did the Mavs game. It is the number 60, the word feet, and the number 6, just to clarify that. But yeah, and also anytime that you ever sub to my channel, or if you want to donate, it all goes straight to my 60 Feet 6 Foundation, helping kids with cancer. Because at the end of the day, when you hear everything and you feel what I get to feel and see what I see, and you hear my story, you'll understand how much this really means to me versus getting to play the game of baseball. This is something that I truly, truly love more than anything, is being able to help kids that are going through these tough times. But that is next Thursday, Lava Cantina in the Colony. Come on down. I actually got one of my college roommates, or actually teammates, I should say. We lived right next to each other, is coming down here from Baltimore. So I'm very pumped to see him too. I haven't seen him in a while. So shout out to Gerard, AKA G4 Sick With It. But yes, it's going to be a blast. I'm excited.
But that's going to do it for us here this week of Off the Fair Poll. We'll maybe be back next week, although like I said last podcast, probably not. We're kind of up in the air. If we can get one in, we will, just so we can talk about the World Series and everything going on with that. But if not, stay tuned. We do have our Thanksgiving draft show coming up probably within a week of the event. So probably it might actually be the next one you hear. It might be the Thanksgiving draft. Stay tuned for that. That'll be a lot of fun. But for all of us here, myself, for Derek, for Dyer, Choppy, and for Gnome, thanks for listening. If you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, or Stitcher, be sure to leave us a like, a comment, or a review. It does help us out. Those of you listening and watching on Twitch, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging. We'll check you all later. See yous.
Deuces.
Oh, where's my mouse? There we go. Also, for those that are here, I'll be back in probably a couple hours. I'm going to get some food, and I'll be back on.
And I have got to get out of here.